Hey, how are you holding up? What have you discovered? It is truly an amazing time as long as we go within deeply and not be so attached to that outer world and what is being said outside of ourselves. It is an incredible opportunity to go deeper within and hear that so still voice, that quiet voice within us to get real information, not all the false narratives that are being spoken in the world. So what a fantastic opportunity. And even walking today, it was like, wow, all the delivery trucks that used to come through this town and you're not seeing them. You see one or two going out for, 2-hour walk. That's all I saw. And it gives Mother Earth a chance to breathe. It's truly her time. So I want to check in, see how you're doing, but share a couple of thoughts. One is that a lot of people are still saying that they're on this spiritual path and they're blaming other people. Okay. Now we all fall victim to this at some point, but to go out and have these monstrous platforms that some of these people have, the huge amount of subs that are following them, takes it's greater responsibility to be more careful of what you say. And if you don't know, just say, I don't know. That's not my expertise. So you don't have to give an answer that turns around and is about blaming someone. And how can we say we're doing these ascension principles when there's a them and us? It's still that duality. So I realized because of a beautiful soul, a friend that called, and she actually called to tell me something about one of the Ascension Angel oils, the wisdom oil she bought, and it turned into be that I who've known her for 3 or 4 years, ended up when she asked me a question going into drama, old trauma. And it was just after I said, I'm not going to put my foot in that pond anymore. And isn't that always what happens, that we get tested right after we make a decision not to do something, and to be really conscious of it? So it was really interesting because she just held that energy. And as I was speaking and talking about these other people that I've known my whole life, and some of the whatever it was, still old wounding that had nothing to do with me, I realized at the end. It had to do with a parental figure who refused to take responsibility for her life. And I, being the savior, being this leader, being the defender of the weak, constantly throughout my life defended this person. And I didn't, in other words, when we withdraw that energy, not just go away, because several times I've stayed away and didn't enter this person's life at all for long periods of time, saying, okay, now she will do this. And she never did. But I hadn't taken out or healed. I still had my hooks in there. Like, okay, how bad does it have to get that I don't feel like I have to step in and again be the savior or the rescuer or fix it for her? And so until we really energetically cut those cords, we will get drawn in. We will get sucked back in. And it is arrogant to think that we came to save another person when that's their sole design. And maybe we are taking opportunity away from them when we keep stepping in and bailing them out and standing up for them and fighting for their rights. And then we always end up looking like the bad guy when it wasn't even ours to do. So it was really interesting because as I spoke, I also knew there's another part of the brain, right, that's standing outside, or the consciousness that's watching as the witness, going, why am I talking this nonsense? Why am I even saying these things? I know it's just my lesson, and stop it. And then it was finally like, okay, I'm done. I'm done, because it was so blatant that I felt this responsibility. And because it was a wound from birth, prior to birth, actually, it was something that I felt as this, embryo even, that, oh my God, this person doesn't know how to stand. Some consciousness knows, oh my God, I don't even get to be a kid. I have to protect this person because she doesn't know how to protect herself. So there's a part that is like hard to break, and it's probably lifetimes of doing that. So it's, again, there is no other. So as people are saying the bad guys, the dark forces, the this, and then the next minute they're talking about how they're going to teach a class on ascension, and you're thinking, what? I mean, I'm not going to teach a class on ascension because I'm not there yet, just not. So don't, let's be careful with our words. And it's not easy, but let's not create the duality, right? More duality. These people, those people, there is no other. This is a collective operation that's happening on now. This is something that we as a collective created to turn it around and look deep within ourselves. The fears, the blame, the shame, the whatever it is, it's a collective consciousness. And we came to say no more. So we're in that period of no more. We want peace. We want harmony. But then we have to allow the old systems to crash and burn. Hence the story of the phoenix. Everything may have to go to ashes. And everyone says, yes, we want the old system to fall because it can't be rebuilt because it's so corrupt and so twisted that, but then, we got to rescue the banks. Okay, because I have money in there. Oh my God. Okay, as long as I still keep my house. Oh my God, as long as I have my car. As long as I have this. See, we can't make up our minds. Do we want it or not? Will we trust or not? And the more we get to the point of surrendering, and that is what I have spent the last 7 years consciously doing, the more you surrender, the more you can see how the divine can step in and take over where you didn't know where the solution was. But then again, the next thing that you think, you would lose, say, power or freedom or something that's vitally important or feels vitally important to you. And it's like, oh my God, this is the last thing. Like, no, I can't have this because it means my freedom. It means this. But when we let go, realizing we're not trusting still this creator, this magnificent, fantastic creation energy, that for 9 months, we became a fully functional human as far as everything working before we entered the world with no help of our own, no help of somebody trying to, adjust it, fix it, doing something. We just allowed it. We just trusted it. And we were birthed into this world, and then our parents think they have to do this, and society thinks they have to do that, or say that, or control this, or do whatever, and we get programmed. And so we lose that divine connection. And that's what we're trying to get right now. We're trying to regain our divine connection to our intuitive self, our telepathic self. So if internet goes down, why are we not working on our telepathy? I mean, I know it works, but I haven't exercised that muscle enough. I used to have a couple friends that literally, when I would say something about this person, I knew within 24 hours that person would call me out of the blue. And maybe I hadn't talked to them in 6 months or 8 months. And they don't know why they called, but that is the connection we have to all things. We do have this telepathy. We just have to use it. It's been trained out of us thinking we need devices and phones and computers and all of these things. We think that this being is stagnant, that we have to get in a car or an airplane. We're not designed that way. We're energy beings. We can materialize and dematerialize. Many great ones do that and have done that throughout the ages. Sorry. So that is what we have to remember. That is what has been programmed out of us. That is why we have GMOs and chemicals and Miracle Grow and chemtrails and these aluminums and fluoride and the chlorine to close that pineal gland, because that is our true connection to our divine self, the one that knows how to, hover and or instantly be somewhere else, or telepathically communicate. Those are our gifts, and we have been blocked from using them because we've bought into the fear, we've bought into the limitations. There's a reason we only use such a fraction of our brain. And that isn't because we were trained as children to explore all of these avenues and assure us that all of these things were possible. Instead, we were put in little rote classrooms and everybody has to do it this way or that way. We were trained to be slaves. And it is crazy right now going out and talking to people. And a neighbor, for one instance, oh my God, they just finished, their home was just finished, and they need a final inspection for their electrical. Well, they can't get the electrician to come because he's so booked. Now you're thinking, why would an electrician be so booked when everybody's home? What's going on, Well, apparently this electrician told him that all of the electricians in this valley, and we're not talking, the Napa Valley is not one that, we're not LA, we're not New York, we're not one of these places, Northern Italy, that has this virus. So, but they said they go into people's garages and there'll be 3 freezers, huge freezers set up, large refrigerators, and an entire row filled with toilet paper, shelving from floor to ceiling. Talk about fear consciousness. I mean, that hoarding is all lack of trust. It's all fear driven. It's like, oh my gosh. And, I was buying some things at the grocery store the other day that it hadn't been in for a while. And then at the last minute I go, I don't need 3 of these, because the limit was like 3. And I said, here, let somebody have this that, needs it. And so it's like, seriously, do I not trust that I will get what I need? We will all get what we need. Even if that's that all these systems have to crash and we end up with nothing and we find our power that way. Whatever it is, to rebuild something properly, the structure has to be there first. Without structural integrity, it doesn't matter how tall or how beautiful you build something, it will tumble. So that's what we're having to redo now. We're having to rewire ourselves, not to buy into the fear of these news sources. And that's another thing. My mother's friend calls her every morning and goes on, and I'm staying with my mom right now. She's 91. And she goes on for at least a half hour every morning about all the doom and gloom and what's happening, because she watches CNN, NBC, ABC, all of these things, and reads the newspapers that are controlled by these dark figures that are part of the reason that we are so small, kept small, believing we were small. Let me clarify that, believing we were small, but not true at all. And I hear my mother every 10 minutes go, or 5 minutes go, well, are we walking? Are we walking? Because she's not buying into the whole fear thing. And, I was so appreciative growing up where my dad and mom both said Hitler couldn't happen if people questioned authority and not let fear rule their life. Question authority, the so-called authority. Do research, find out, you just wash your hands, don't touch your face. If you do, it's like I created this we have an oil called Protection, and just has some really great antibacterial, antiviral, but then I filled this little sprayer when I go out. And, you know, I open the post office, I spray it on my hand, a couple sprays, and I wipe it together. And then when I open the door to the post office, not only I'm protected, but the next person, because now I've just killed the germs that are on there. So it's looking out for each other too. And if I touch my face by accident, I put a little on my hands and I just kind of do this kind of thing. You don't want to get that one in your eye because it has like oregano and cloves and, you know, all these amazing antibacterial, antiviral oils. But, and then this is fun because we all need uplift now. This is a brand new one. I just made this one. And of course I get to test them all first. I mean, you know, so this one is really lovely with these jasmine, and because jasmine is like in full bloom right now in the valley, and it's just so special. And actually this one I will close my eyes and spray on my face and wipe in because it's uplifting. Why should I buy into the fear? Yes, so each one of you do something that's magnificent for yourself, take care of yourself, and remember, this time is about service. That's what it's about. Okay, especially watch what happens till mid-June. Make sure you're in service to humanity, that you're doing what you came to do. And that's serving. Yes, we need to take care of ourselves. Yes, there's nothing wrong with making money if it's with integrity. We all need to be supported. Shannon and I, my business partner, of course we want to be, because we're bringing products that are a high integrity into the world to help this world, to lift the vibration. But that's the thing. We have to do it with integrity. If we're not, it's going to ricochet back and knock us on our ass. And we know that. We understand how creation works. So whatever you do, you know, go back in your meditation. I'm doing this one that I'm keeping this 12-foot bubble of golden light around me. And I'm residing in that, and I'm still breathing up from the earth. I'm locked into the planet. I'm also connected in up above. Oh, look, funny light. Anyway, light, we shall all remain. We are light beings. So, you know, it's, I see, I totally lost where I was going, but it doesn't matter. It's like I connect up above and see myself breathing in and out this golden light. So I'm completely protected with these spirals around me of golden, you know, just support. And then I'm breathing it out into the world also. So do your part, okay? June 15th is right around the corner. Make sure you're standing in integrity. And when you can go up above there and connect into your soul, where you came from, your portal, ask, why, what was the agreement that I made? What was it that I agreed to do? And go over it. You know, listen, allow it to be downloaded in the night. What was it that I came to do? What was my original agreement? Let me see it clearly. So much love. Okay, have a great day.